Hi everybody, Levi Clay here, and in today's lesson I'm going to be introducing the idea of using sequences, more specifically descending fours, as a way of augmenting our scale practice concepts. And then once I've shown you the exercise, I'm going to show you how we can use elements of this exercise in our actual licks, in our actual phrasing. So I've got some licks that I've transcribed for you, and there is a link in the description to my Patreon page where you can download a free tab for all of this, so you can get these in your practice routine immediately. Whilst you're there, do consider checking out my weekly guided practice routines and weekly guided ear training sessions if you want to take your playing to the next level. I'm about to jump over to the guitar, but before I do that, if you are new here, please do hit that subscribe button and leave me a comment below. It all really helps. Right, over to the guitar. Okay, so in this video I'm going to be using this beautiful Squire Strat from my friends over at Sweetwater. I'm giving this guitar away, so make sure you check out my giveaway video and check out the Sweetwater link in the description if you want to support the channel. So the concept is very simple. I'm a big believer in not practicing scales. I think once you've learned something, you've learned it. There's no reason to really practice it. That doesn't mean scales are worthless, and in order to do all of these exercises, you of course need to know your scales. Now if you want to go in more depth on this, there's plenty of videos on YouTube. I cover them on my Patreon page, all of that good stuff. I want to jump straight in at the descending fours idea. So a scale is a relatively unmusical idea, whereas a sequence can take a little bit of rhyme or reason in your musical ideas and give that to the audience in a way that they can sort of understand. And I'm a big fan of doing that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a G7. That kind of sound, and we are going to play a series of descending fours. So our basic scale would look like this. That'd be your Mixolydian scale pattern. Take some time, learn that, because you won't be able to do any sort of descending fours until you really know that. And then we're going to start on that highest note. In this case, that would be the 5th fret on the high E string, and we're going to descend 4 notes. And then we'll go to the next note in the scale, which would be the 3rd fret on the high E string, and descend 4 notes. Then the 6th fret on the B string, descend 4 notes. 5th fret on the B string, descend 4 notes. 3rd fret on the B string, descend 4 notes. So on and so forth. And then when you do that through the whole scale pattern, it's going to sound like this. If you do that a little bit faster. So yeah, in its own right, definitely a musical example, but not as musical as we possibly could make it. It is a great thing to practice. I played it there with my kind of swing feel, and there was lots of articulation things I was doing there. But just as a picking exercise, it's a really good one, because it definitely it's going to force you to come face to face with every one of your possible picking mechanics that you could need in order to play through any sort of scalar idea. So a wonderful alternate picking exercise for you as well. Now the licks that I've written for you are fragments of this descending fours idea. So my first lick, rather than starting on the root, I'm a big believer in not starting on root notes and not starting on the lowest note, not starting on the highest note. Make your musical ideas sound a little bit more integrated with real music. Real music doesn't force you to start at the bottom. It doesn't force you to start at the top. So the first lick is going to sound like this. So what am I doing there? Well, at its core, I'm starting with the descending fours idea. I'm starting on that 6th fret of the B string and descending 4. Moving over to the 5th fret, descending 4. And then I've got a more musical, which is a fragment I play all the time. We've then got 4 notes of arpeggio. Then a blues lick. And then to end that phrase, and I'm a big fan of these kind of ideas that shift around the neck, kind of Derek Trucks in nature, right? Those sliding around the necks ideas. to my ears, being a slide player myself, you can get a lot of expression out of the instrument like that. So played slowly and then quickly. And then fast. Definitely, a cool idea there. And that one, the idea, of course, is to start around this E-shape bar chord. Each one of these licks I've started in a different position. So the next one I'm a little bit higher up on the neck, in this 10th fret area. And played really slowly, the lick's going to sound like this. A little bit faster. And then faster still. And my hand, I'm staying in position for that entire lick. You need to, of course, be able to see a chord and a scale. All of my scale vocabulary down before I go into practicing licks and ideas. And in essence, again, same idea. We're starting with the descending fours. I could make it an exercise and play. I could do that, but I'm trying to play exercises or play musical sequences and then turn them into licks. From there, we're going to descend 5 notes of the scale, and then we're going to do our bluesy flat 3-3, and then this kind of classic, like jump blues lick, I guess you would call it. Simple idea. It's kind of BB King box as well. So if we play that lick fast. Nice little lick there that fits around that chord position and sounds like a G chord. Our final lick is going to jump up to the 10th fret area, and I'm going to play a lick around the A shape. I say that, I'm going to begin around the A shape, but I'm actually going to move it all the way down to the E shape here. So this is going to be a challenging one with some position shifts in there. Now if I play it slowly, it's going to sound like this. Starts on the upbeat, 1, 2, 3, 4. Moving around there. I'm actually adding a note in there. I should play it as written. And yeah, this one I went out of my way to not start with the descending fours. I start with something a little bit more kind of bebop in nature. I play these types of chromatic licks all the time. So the first bar is not a descending fours. But then from there, descending fours. And again, we want to know our scale position. So if I'm here, I need to know. So on and so forth. Like I know my scale position, which means I can then start using it for melodic ideas. So descending fours. Then I'm going to shift down to that C shape. Move this third down, 5th fret, and then transition down to my E shape. So play around on these sorts of ideas all day long. So hopefully what you can take from that is what I've really ingrained here is just the ability to hear that sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can practice it in position, in in different positions. Or you could move it. That was me shifting down the neck. The more fretboard knowledge you have, the easier it becomes to do things like that. But at its core, you don't need to be able to do that. It would be fine for you to just sit in one area and play. It's absolutely going to do the job. So, if you have enjoyed that, please do feel free to ask me any questions that you might have about this concept. And of course, you can check out that link in the description and get yourself access to a free tab, PDF and Guitar Pro download of this. Like I say, I am here to help. And of course, if you do want more, you can always check me out on Patreon. There is a link to that in the description. And you can be like all these awesome people, support the channel, get access to weekly guided practice routines, weekly guided ear training sessions, and just, well, if there's space, you can have private lessons, and just access to all of my private social groups. You know, a good community of people talking about music and knowing that you are working together to become better musicians, but also supporting other working musicians. That's all very much appreciated. So thank you very much for that. If that doesn't suit, you can also check out any of my books. I've got lots of them available. They're all on Amazon. Have a look for them. I'm sure you will find something that you enjoy. Thank you so much for checking this video out, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you subscribe, and I hope I see you for another video soon. Goodbye.